Peter's confession, Matthew 16:13 through 17. While I was in conversation one day, I was told that the Gospels of Luke and John should not be trusted, and that the Gospel of Matthew was a better account of Jesus' life. This same information came from a man who claims that Matthew makes no mention of Jesus Christ being anything more than a man. Now, I do not value any of the four biblical Gospels over another, but rather than defend the Gospels of Luke and John, this video will look at a part of Matthew that I believe contradicts what this person has said. The verse we will be looking at today is Matthew 16:13 through 17. And it says, "When Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, 'Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?' And they said, 'Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, and others Jeremias, or one of the prophets.' He saith unto them, 'But whom say ye that I am?' And Simon Peter answered and said, 'Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God.' And Jesus answered and said unto him, 'Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven.'" I am using the Gospel of Matthew specifically because this person says it is the most accurate. But it must be known that this event is witnessed and written in the Gospels of Mark and Luke as well. And I invite you to pause, take a moment, and read through these other versions on Mark 8:27 through 29 and Luke 9:18 through 20. Also, I use the King James Version, but I suggest that you consider reading of all the translations. That way you at least know how they differ and how they stay the same. In this scripture, Jesus asks his disciples, "Who am I? Who do men say I am?" The disciples give several answers, which list dead men and prophets, including John the Baptist, who had been killed not long before this. This listing will become more important later in the video. But when Jesus asks them, "Who do you say I am?" Peter answers, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." And right there is your answer. When we talk about the divinity or the humanity of Jesus Christ, it is simply answered. Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Matthew has made it very clear that Jesus, although presently a man, is in fact so much more than just a man. Before we go any further, I already know the objections that have been said against this. People have said to me, Christ only means anointed, and we are all sons of God, so this proves nothing. But is this really all there can be said about this? No, there is so much more to this. Let's take a look back at this list of people that are given by the disciples. If Peter's calling Jesus the Son of God is no more special than any other person being called a child of God, then what is the difference between Jesus and those listed? They are definitely sons of God according to this logic. This passage does not work this way. You are given a list of people that Jesus is not, so that you can know who Jesus is. It would do no good to define him in a way that does not dismiss these others from being Jesus. I know someone will eventually point out that Jesus is called the Christ, and that is the only difference. But there is a problem with their logic here as well. There is no doubt that the meaning of Christ, the word itself, is anointed. So I've asked people, how was Jesus anointed, becoming the Christ? And they answered, at his baptism. If the only thing that makes Jesus the Christ is his baptism, then John the Baptist baptized a whole bunch of Christs. And I don't think anyone is going to accept that logic, especially when Jesus would be the Christ and not a Christ. So what is Matthew showing us here? What is the difference between all these other sons of God and Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God? It is the relationship between God the Father and Jesus the Son. When Peter calls him the Son of the living God, it carries a special importance. Even though all the other followers of God, in fact, all of humanity, could be considered the children of God, Jesus' relationship is special and unlike any other relationship with Jehovah. And this could not be any more apparent than with what Jesus Christ says to Peter. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Barjona, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. Matthew 16:17. A real easy question to ask is if Jesus, as the Son of God, is no different than any other man of God or the prophets called sons of God, then why would the Father have to reveal this? If the answers are as simple as the logic that these people present, then the Father has nothing to reveal. We are all sons of God, and if we are baptized, then we are anointed. So are we the same as what Peter is saying about Jesus? No, we are not. And the Father is revealing through Peter that Jesus Christ is special, that there is no one else like him. And Matthew is not just witnessing this. He is in agreement that there is something special about Jesus Christ. He agrees with Peter that Jesus is the Son of the living God, and this passage is here to point out that Jesus is different from all other men. Now, a crafty person will think a way around this passage, but this passage does not work with the logic that Jesus was only human. If his baptism is what made him anointed, and he is a child of God like everyone else, then Peter's answer is no answer at all. But if Jesus Christ is the Son of God, in a relationship unlike all the others, then Peter's answer is indisputable and crucial to understanding who Jesus is. After all of this is revealed, Jesus tells his disciples to not tell anyone that he is the Christ, because he knows this truth will bring about his death. He does not ask them this out of fear, but rather knowing his work is not done, and there is a time coming for it to be revealed. Later, in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus will stand before the Sanhedrin and will be asked, I charge you under oath by the living God, tell us if you are the Christ, the Son of God. And Jesus will answer, yes, it is as you say. The final thought I want to leave you with is this. Is Jesus just a man who is allowing the Sanhedrin to believe a falsehood to crucify him over? Or is he the Son of the living God in a relationship that carries a special importance, which the Sanhedrin chooses not to accept? By the logic of some people, Jesus is a child of God like everyone else, so the Sanhedrin could not charge anyone for that. But if a man calls himself the Son of God, meaning Jehovah is really his own Father, that would be blasphemy if it were not true. As the centurion said, surely he was the Son of God. Peace be with you.